So when Jesus
Very
was
right.
preaching, understand his preaching ministry, that identity of his ministry was in preaching, and that brought faith to the people. It brought faith to them. It inspired their faith. And one of the things I also want us to see about this kingdom of God, I want us to understand that this kingdom of God had more power and more precedence over the kingdom of Satan and darkness. And that's why Jesus stressed the importance. Turn from your sin. Turn from this life of darkness. Turn from this life of sin and shame, because God's kingdom's on the scene. God's kingdom is here. And again, that kingdom was an invisible kingdom that had power. It had supernatural power to deliver you out of whatever bondages you were in. And the kingdom of God, again, it had the power to destroy the kingdom of Satan and darkness. And this type of preaching that Jesus was doing, it built up the people's faith to come out of darkness and to be delivered from their sins. They turned from their sins because they believed that Jesus could save them from their sins. They believed that Jesus could destroy that yokes that Satan had over them. And let's look at Luke 4:18. This is probably one of our last scriptures for the night. But Luke 4:18 says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me." This is Jesus saying this. He says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me
Can you
to
hear them?
preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty, to set at freedom them that are bruised." Now, that word bruised here means those who are broken in pieces, those who've been shattered, those who have been crushed by this life. Jesus, this is why he was saying his ministry, part of his ministry was preaching. And that's why we have preaching in churches today. And a lot of times people have gotten away from preaching about deliverance, preaching about the kingdom, and they preaching about themselves. They're always talking about somebody, how God's going to give you this, God's going to give you that. But the most important thing is that we want to make sure that we're preaching about deliverance and healing, preaching about God's kingdom so that people can come out of that kingdom of darkness so that they can experience the kingdom of God. And
Right.
that's why, again, why preaching was so important to Christ's ministry. It built people's confidence up. It built their faith up, because all this time we were subject to the enemy, right? We were subject because of what Adam done, and people could not help it. People had they wanted to do right, but it just seemed like every person, you go to Moses, you go to David, you go all those great leaders. They all had issues. They all struggled because of that bondage they were in, because of Adam's sin, because they were
Mm-hmm.
subject to this flesh. But now when Christ comes, he's teaching the kingdom of God. He's stressing the importance of turning from that life of sin and shame. And when you turn from that life of sin and shame, you come out of that kingdom of Satan, of the kingdom of Satan and darkness, and you come into God's kingdom. And that kingdom has freedom. That kingdom has power. It has the ability to be able to set us free. It has the ability to be able to deliver us from sins and habits and different things that we may be struggling with. His kingdom came to destroy those bondages.